Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today, we're going to make yellow split pea soup with ham. Stick around because you don't want to miss it. Thanks for joining me today. I'm in the kitchen. Where else? Today we're going to make yellow split pea soup, which is a departure from a traditional green split pea soup. However, I make this the same way that I make the green split pea. It's just going to be a different color. Now, it is said that the yellow split peas have a milder flavor. I don't know that that's true. I mean, to me, they're very similar. So that's what I'm going to do. I happen to go through my stuff in the pantry, and I have a white sealed legume bucket and in my food stores, and I realized that I have mini bags of yellow split peas because they were given to me. And so I thought, you know what? It's December. I'm going to make some yellow split pea soup. So, having said all that, let's get going. Now, I got a ham shank a couple of months ago. It was on sale at my local Fairway store. So I grabbed one, and it's a smoked ham shank. And so yesterday I pressure cooked it for about 90 minutes with my stovetop pressure cooker, and I was able to render this nice ham broth. And I put it in the refrigerator. It had a layer of fat on the top, which I have scraped off. Okay, so scraped off the fat, but I'm going to use some of this fat. Now, you can see how gelatinous this broth is. It's very, see how gelatinous it is? That's that nice, and there's ham pieces in there. I'll show you, because the ham just fell right off the bone, and it's very, very gelatinous, and that is from cooking the bones, like you would cook bone broth. If you were to cook bone broth, your bone broth should look like this, be like a gel. That's because of the collagen that comes out of the bones. And that's very good for you. So, I'm going to set this aside till we're ready to use it. I think there's probably maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 cups. The yellow split peas, it's a 2-pound package, which I've already sorted and rinsed. And once they're rinsed, you can see they get kind of sticky because they're trying to rehydrate. But that's okay. That's fine. Because when you put the water on them, they're not dried anymore. So, I'm going to turn on my kettle here. And I've done a little bit of prep work for this ahead of time, anticipating that I was going to make this for you. I have here a container of chopped carrots, celery, and onion. There's about 2 onions, quite a little bit of celery, and 3 large carrots. You can judge for yourself how many to put in there. That's up to you, and it depends on your how many peas you're going to use, right? So I'm going to use a little bit of that. Now, there is some liquid in there. See if you can see this. There is some liquid in there, which that's fine. And it will splatter a little bit. I'm going to warn you if you do it this way. If you don't use the fat from your ham or your ham hock or whatever, just use a little bit of butter I'm going to cook this off a little bit. Just use a little bit of butter, use olive oil, honestly whatever fat you have. I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter in this as well. So, and I think just because I'm going to use the rest of this fat. Alright. Now, keep in mind this is a little liquidy, that's okay. I'm going to add in a teaspoon or two of garlic. This is just pre-chopped garlic. If you want to chop the garlic, do it yourself, use fresh garlic, by all means, go with that. Now then, I'm going to add in my vegetables. And I'm going to cook this on low. I want to just give these vegetables a head start, that's all. And besides which, I think that this gives any soup better flavor. If you saute your vegetables ahead of time with a little bit of seasoning, it gives them a lot of flavor. I am going to add some salt. Now I realize the ham shank is salty, but I tasted that broth. It's not overly salty, and I did not salt the broth when I cooked it. And what the salt does, it helps the vegetables to sweat out their flavor. And that's what we want. Now, a lot of recipes for split pea soup calls for a bay leaf or two. I don't care for the taste of bay leaf. That's just me. If you like it, by all means, put it in. It's your soup. You do whatever you like. That's perfectly fine. Some recipes, some people also put diced potatoes in their split pea soup. I do not. I think the peas themselves are plenty of starch, and so, but you can, if you like that, then by all means you do it. All right, we're going to let this sweat down, and the liquid, you can see that the liquid is disappearing initially that was in there, and they're going to sweat down, they're going to sweat out some of their own liquid, and that's what we want. So I'm going to keep a watch on this, and then we will be back. I think my camera went off for a minute. We shall see. All right. Just to recap, just in case the camera went off, I have put my split peas, my rinsed and sorted split peas in with the sauteed vegetables and the garlic. I have put in my ham broth from that smoked ham shank. And you can see the bits of ham in there. This will all break down as it cooks. I did double check. I checked to see if I could cook this split pea in my stovetop pressure cooker to make it a little faster. And the book that came with the canner said do not cook split peas in, or that came with the pressure cooker said do not cook split peas in the pressure cooker. So, okay. That solved that problem. I'm glad I checked. All right, I'm going to rinse this out, and I'm going to add some water to it. Also, I'm going to rinse out this bowl. To get the goodies out of it. Now, I'm absolutely sure that I'm going to need more liquid in this. And I think I want to add a little more garlic. Just because. So, it looks pretty, doesn't it? And remember, it's yellow split peas, so it's not going to be green by any means. All right, I'm going to bring this to the boil. I'm going to then turn it down to a simmer, and I'm just going to let this simmer until the split peas are done. Actually, what I'm hoping for is to have some for a meal, and then I'm going to can the rest. My first mother-in-law, my dear sweet mother-in-law, she canned a lot, and in the day she would always say, instead of saying canned, she would say, I put up. So she'd say, I put up 20 quarts of green beans today. So she put up. And so it is my desire to put up some yellow split pea soup for my pantry. And then also have some to eat. I think it's going to be delicious. Now, I'm not going to add any more salt or anything to this till towards the end, because as it cooks and it cooks up, your salt becomes intensified. So I'm going to wait a little bit on that. Okay? All right. We'll be back. I'm excited. Aren't you excited? Okie doke. This is on a nice, more like a simmer, I think. It's not the lowest it can go, but it's like on a number 2, so it's just above low. And I am keeping the lid on it. Now, just so you know, I thought I'm going to need some more liquid, which I did mention to you. So I grabbed a couple of pints of my home canned chicken broth, and I put that in. You can use water. Actually, you don't need any broth for this, really, because there's a lot of flavors going on here. You can just use water and your vegetables and seasoning. And I'll tell you something. If you don't have ham, you can use bacon. And you can use turkey bacon. It's got a nice bacon smoky flavor. It's good for things like this. You can also use, if you want to make it vegan, use a liquid smoke and you will get that nice smoky flavor. Here is a bottle of liquid smoke. I try to keep it in my cupboard for many things. You can add some of that, and I highly recommend adding it when you're sauteing your vegetables, and it will give you that nice smoky flavor, which is kind of traditional with a split pea soup. So you can do that and keep it vegan, keep it vegetarian. Also, this is another hint here, if you don't have any meat to put in it and you happen to have some bacon grease, or maybe you can borrow some bacon grease from Grandma or Mom, then saute your vegetables in the bacon grease and you will have that nice smoky ham bacon kind of flavor going on. Okay, so there's other ways to get around it. If you don't have the meat, don't concern yourself with that. And just so you know, split peas, a serving of split peas will give you almost 17 grams of protein, and that is about 2 servings of protein. Okay, so they're very nutritious. There's so many great things in split peas. And guess what? Split peas are grown prolifically in Canada, the United States, also Russia, India, China, but split peas is a fantastic crop that we can get from the Americas. Okay? So I'm gonna cook this. I've got my timer set for about an hour. That way I can remind myself. I'm not gonna turn it up high because I don't want it to scorch, and I'm not running a race here. We're just making soup. All right, yay, we'll be back. Guess what? I think we've got soup. My timer went off. I had the timer set for an hour on a low simmer. And I think that you can see how the yellow split peas are broken down. And I'm going to put some in a little dish. I'm going to taste it just to see what we have here. And make sure it's where I want it to be. Split peas do not take as long to cook as beans. Okay? They're just faster. Now, let me give this a taste. It's very good. They're perfectly done, but I need some more salt. Can you see how broken down they are? So that's what we're looking for. Really good. But we need some salt. And that's why I waited till they're done to add more salt. And just so you know, during the cooking process, I did add 2 more cups of water. Now, you know what? The water does not take away from the flavor of this soup. It just doesn't. And honestly, your kids might be more receptive to the yellow split pea rather than the green split pea, because you know sometimes kids go, ooh, green. This does kind of look more like a bean soup, doesn't it? All right. Now, give it another little taste here. After I've added the salt. See what we have. That's pretty good. I think maybe just a smidge more salt. Now listen, you can add whatever spices you want to add to this. And honestly, if you want to skip the smoky flavor, try adding some curry flavors to it and give it kind of an East Indian twist. I think that would be good as well. Split peas are very versatile. Now then, some people like for their split pea soup to be more creamy. Personally, I'm fine with it like this. If you do and you want it more creamy, you have an immersion blender, feel free to use that. If you don't have one of those, you can use a potato masher to mash up the split peas even more. But honestly, this is great. I think this is great, and this works beautifully for me. I like being able to see the peas in the soup, and I think that it's something that you will enjoy as well. Now I'm looking here because I'm going to put just a little bit of dried parsley flakes in there for some nice color. You can skip that part if you don't want to. That's just me. But I think the green flecks look pretty in there. And we like for our food to look pretty. All right. Honestly, that's it. I'm going to have enough for a couple bowls of soup, and I'm going to put up some jars for my pantry with what's left. But I'll can that up tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about that today. And you know what? I don't remember if I mentioned or not. If you want to do this in your crock pot, do it in your crock pot. Okay? You can. That's fine. Very, very flexible. But you can see that we've got a lot of soup here. This soup will feed a lot of people. Soup is a gift that just keeps on giving, doesn't it? Okay, listen. I love ya. I hope you give this a try. It's pretty inexpensive. And honestly, depending on how you make it, it can be very cost effective for anybody. Okay? All right. Learn to make it yourself. You'll appreciate it. I know you will. All right, listen. I love you. You know I do. And as always, just remember that little is much when God is in it. All right? Okay. I love you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.